Am I gonna be able to nail the dramatic Taylor Swift pose? Who knows? I was in distress. I was not having it. No. Yeah, I have a lot of different relationships with a lot of fictional men. They're not aware that they're in a relationship with me, and also they're just constantly raising the bar for my real love life because I know that I will never be able to find someone that is as perfect as they are. Hello everybody, it's Sara. Welcome back. Today I'm coming at you with the folklore book tag. So as you may already know if you follow me on Twitter, I am a huge Taylor Swift fan, and when she came out with her new album Folklore, I was just so excited and so over the moon, and it's definitely one of my favorite albums of hers. So when I saw my friend Hillary from the channel Melted Books do this video on her channel, I knew I had to do it, and because Hillary is such a good friend, she actually tagged me, so thank you so much Hillary for tagging me. I'm not really sure who the original creator of this video is, but I'm gonna make sure to link them down below in the description box, so definitely go and check them out. I will also leave Hillary's channel down there, obviously. So yeah, without any further ado, let's start this tag because it is a pretty long one. There are 16 prompts, one for each of the songs on the album. So yeah, I'm really excited. I have my very folklore shirt on. It's probably not a good decision because it's very warm right now. So you know, I gotta pay homage to the amazing aesthetic of this album. Taylor Swift gave us cottagecore, dark academia, so I gotta, you gotta vibe with it. You just have to. So the first song on the album is called The One, and for this one you have to talk about a couple that you don't really agree with. For this prompt I decided to go with the book Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen, and basically in this one we follow two different sisters, and the reason why I chose this book is because one of the two sisters ended up with a guy that I wanted the other sister to end up with. So yeah, tea. So I was pretty disappointed at the end of the book when the sister that I liked more didn't end up with the character that I wanted her to marry, and I still don't really understand why the other sister that I don't like had to end up with this guy who was definitely better for her sister. But you know, it's okay. It's Jane Austen's decision, so really I don't have anything to say about it because Jane Austen is always right. Then the next song is The Cardigan, a book that you love but the ending disappointed you. And for this one I had to go with Beach Read by Emily Henry. I think that Hillary actually also chose this book, but basically we read this book for the Tea Leaves book club in the month of June, I think. This is a romance book. I'm not gonna go into too many details about all of the synopses. Whoa! About the synopses? I think that's how you say it in plural, but anyway, I'm not gonna go into too much detail about like what these books are about because otherwise we're gonna be sitting here for ages. The ending was just very cheesy, and if you've watched the live show and if you've read the book you probably know what I'm talking about, but it was just not my thing at all. Like, I loved the book. Most of it was absolutely fun and perfect and hilarious and cute, and then we got to that ending and I was just like, no, and then it kind of fell flat. So yeah, that was disappointing. And the next song is The Last Great American Dynasty, which is one of my favorite songs on the album. I just love this one so much, and the prompt for that one is to choose a villain that you can't help but love. And for this one I decided to go with Minia from the Strange the Dreamer duology, and that's the thing about Minia. You hate her, but also you can't help but understand her motivations and her feelings. It's kind of like a hate-to-love relationship that tears your heart to shreds, in my opinion. I started really disliking her, and then the more that I learned about her and about her past, I was just like, oh my god, like my heart was breaking every page. I love her, and I also love to hate her, so that's a good combo. Also, can I just say that I actually convinced Christine from The Other Christine That Reads to give her a chance because she really hated her at the beginning, and then at the end she was literally crying over her, so I give myself credit for that. Then the next song is Exile feat. Bon Iver. I actually thought you were supposed to pronounce his name Bon Iver. Apparently it's Bon Iver. I don't even know anymore. And the prompt for this one is to talk about your favorite hard-hitting dark contemporary book. And for this one, I knew I had to go with The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis, because in terms of dark contemporary novel, I don't think that you can do pretty much darker than this one. It's kind of like a small town drama, and it talks a lot about feminism and revenge, and there's a lot of violence and definitely a lot of trigger warnings that apply to this book, so definitely check those out before getting into it. But it's just so good. The main character is incredible. I love her so much. I'm also terrified of her, but I love her. This book is just one that left me completely speechless because of how terrible it is, but also how absolutely amazing and mind-boggling it is. I love hard-hitting dark contemporaries, and this one is definitely one of my favorites. Then the next song is My Tears Ricochet, and for this one you have to talk about a character death that destroyed you. I'm not gonna go into too many details with this answer because I don't want to like spoil anything for you, but I'm just gonna hold up a book, and I feel like if you've read this book you will know. I think half of the Hero of Ages is just me being completely and utterly destroyed. So, you know, with the last chapters being extremely heartbreaking. So, yeah, that's the book I'm gonna go with. Okay. The next song is Mirrorball, and the prompt for this one is to talk about a character that undergoes major character development. And the character that I want to talk about for this prompt is Helene from the Ember in the Ashes series. I think that Helene is really hated by a lot of different readers for very fair reasons. I completely agree with certain things that the people are saying about her, because at the beginning she's actually one of the mean guys, and she slowly turns towards the good side of the conflict that she's in. And I'm not saying that takes away all of the terrible things that she was saying or doing at the beginning of the series, and it's so much fun to start hating her and then ending up rooting for her, which is just so satisfying. So yeah, Helene, she's a very divisive character. She gets a lot of hate, she gets a lot of love, but I just think that overall she is so interesting. Then we have Seven, which is my favorite song of folklore. I just love this song so much. It speaks to my soul, and every single time I listen to it, I'm just so happy. And for this song, you have to talk about one of your favorite childhood books. So for this prompt, I want to talk about the Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. This is a series that I read when I was much younger, and I absolutely devoured it. I was so obsessed with that series. I remember I was like, I think age 11 or 12, and I got this huge bind up edition from the library, and I just read it, I think in like 2 days. I was dedicated, and that is definitely a series that I need to reread, even if I'm probably going to be rolling my eyes to the moon and back while reading about this beautiful Christian propaganda, because that's pretty much what it is. C.S. Lewis definitely wasn't subtle with his metaphors, but it was still a good time, so I would still really like to go back and revisit these books. Then the next song is August, which is also one of my favorite songs. I just love it so much. It's definitely in my top 3, and the prompt for this one is to pick your favorite summertime read. I know that a lot of people read a lot of contemporary in the summer, and I don't really read specific genres during specific times of the year. So the book that I actually decided to recommend for this prompt is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon, which is the farthest thing from a YA contemporary that you could find. This is gigantic, which I think is one of the main reasons why I think you should read it in the summer, because I don't know, I just associate really big books with summer, probably because when I was in school, when I was younger, like summer was a time of the year where I could just read whatever I wanted. So I used to pick up like super big book series or just huge books in general. Also, it's very bright and very pretty. So yeah, I know that like reading an 800 pages long book with dragons and a lot of political intrigue and very intense world building is probably not everybody's cup of tea for the summer, but that's what it is. That is me as a person. in a nutshell. Then the next song is This Is Me Trying, which has the most relatable and heartbreaking lyrics, by the way, and the book that you have to pick for this one is a book that always takes you out of a reading slump. I'm a lucky reader in the sense that I don't have a lot of reading slump, but if I ever get into a reading slump, I know that the series that I'm going to gravitate towards is going to be the Heartstopper graphic novel series by Alice Oseman, because they're just so cute and sweet and funny, and they read pretty fast, and they're just amazing, and they bring me so much joy. Also, reading Heartstopper is always a good decision whether you're in a slump or not, so there's that. Then the next song is Illicit Affairs, a book that is your guilty pleasure, but since I don't really agree with the idea of having guilty pleasure, I'm very unapologetic about the books that I read and enjoy. I decided to kind of like change this prompt a little bit. So instead, I decided to talk about a book that I would reread over and over and over again instead of reading new books. Inspired by the lyric, and you know damn well, for you, I would ruin myself a million little times. And the book, or rather the book series that I would ruin myself over a million little times is the Graceling trilogy by Kristen Cashore. If you don't know, this is one of my absolute favorite series of all time. It has been for so long. This book series has been with me for I think like over 10 years at this point, and I just love them so much. But yeah, I've reread like these 3 books for like 5 times I think at this point already. Every single time I reread them, they just bring me so much comfort. They still make me laugh, they still make me swoon. I just love everything about this series, so I would definitely reread these books like a million times and never get tired of them. The next song is Invisible String, which is also one of my favorite songs because it's just so sweet. It's so beautiful. And for this one, you have to talk about your book partner, or as I like to call them, my bookish husbands. Yeah, I have a lot of different relationships with a lot of fictional men. They're not aware that they're in a relationship with me, and also they're just constantly raising the bar for my real love life because I know that I will never be able to find someone that is as perfect as they are. But the one that I wanted to talk about today is Laszlo Strange from Strange the Dreamer. The Strange the Dreamer duology is obviously one of my favorite fantasy series of all time, and one of the main reasons why I love these books so much is because of Laszlo, because he is just the purest, most amazing cinnamon roll, and I love him to pieces. He is a nerd to the core, and I just love that for him. Also, he has long ebony hair, which I'm not complaining about. He's just the greatest. He's so sweet and brave and smart, and he fights toxic masculinity just by existing. I just cannot help but fall in love with him every single time I reread these books. He just warms my heart so much. Then the next prompt is Mad Women, your favorite strong female protagonist. And for this question, considering that I'm literally doing my master's research about her, I had to go with Inej Gaffa from the Six of Crows duology. Inej is just one of those characters that I completely fell in love head over heels for. She is just so special to me. I love her so much. It's hard for me to articulate how much I love her and how much I care about her, and it's just I feel like every single time I want to try and talk about Inej and how much I love her, I just start making fangirling sounds, but she's just so badass and so smart, and also just very sweet. She goes through so much, and she still believes in the world's goodness even if she has seen the worst of it, and I just love her. She means the world to me. Then the next song is Epiphany. Pick a character that has overcome a lot. And for this one, I'm gonna go with Paige from the Bone Season series by Samantha Shannon. I've talked about this series, I feel like, to death on my channel this year because I've just completely become obsessed with it. And Paige, oh my god, once again, an amazing female protagonist that I just love. She's super badass, but also very sensitive and intuitive, and I love that about her so much. I love when characters are so well nuanced, and Samantha Shannon is definitely one of the best writers out there to create such complex characters, and then she just makes them go through some terrible things and completely break your heart in the process, but you're also enjoying it. So yeah, Paige. I love her. She's so great. Then the next prompt is, Betty, talk about a character that deserved better. When I was thinking about answering that question, only one character was coming to mind, but I don't really want to mention this series anymore on my channel. So, you know, there's like a series with a guy and he's a wizard or something, and he goes to this like wizarding school or whatever, and in that school at some point there's one character, he has kind of a moon problem or something, like he has a weird condition, if you will. Yeah, that character, he deserves better. Then the next song is Peace, talk about your favorite fictional couple, and bonus points if they go through a lot together. And for this one, obviously there was only one valid answer for me, and that is Inej and Kaz from the Six of Pearls duology by Leigh Bardugo. They always just break my heart in the best way possible. I just love their dynamic, I love their banter, I love that they care so much about each other, but also they're both so hurt and they both have so many things to go through before they're ready to be together. It's all about the yearning. The yearning is the most important part in this relationship and I'm living for it. Kaz and Inej, they give me all of that joy and pain. So yeah, I had to mention them. They're my favorite. And literally the song Peace, if you listen to the lyrics, it's literally them. And I know you're going to tell me, like, Sarah, you see Kaz and Inej everywhere, because honestly that would be the truth. But also, like, just listen to the song. Just listen to the song and think about them. I cry every time. And then finally, the last song on the album is Hoax, talk about a fictional breakup that destroyed you. None of my favorite fictional couples actually break up during their book, but one that comes pretty close and that almost destroyed me is the main fictional couple in the Bone season. I'm not going to mention who it is because I don't want to spoil anyone, but it's basically Paige and another character that will remain unnamed in this video. But I just love them so much, and there's a point in the series where Paige is really dealing with a lot of pressure and she's like, I'm gonna have to walk away, and I was like, no! I was in distress. I was not having it. No. But then everything got better again, thankfully. Alright everybody, so that was the folklore book tag. I hope you really enjoyed. I don't really know who to tag to do this video, so if you love Taylor Swift and you want to do this tag, please feel free to do so and let me know in the comments so that I can go and check out your video. Also let me know down below in the comments what are your top 3 favorite songs of folklore. I just love this album so much, like I've said in the beginning of this video. I just think it's absolutely amazing, so I really want to gush about it with all of you. And yeah, now I'm going to go and remove this shirt because I'm way too warm, and I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe and I will see you in my next one. Bye!